everyone, I'm here for your weekly children's story. In this week we are going to read the story of Joseph and his rainbow coat, written by Alice Joyce Davidson and illustrated by Victoria Marshall. Alice read her favorite book whenever she had time. It was filled with Bible stories that were told with words that rhyme. One day she read of Joseph and his rainbow-colored coat. As she read, the airmail bird gave her this little note. It said, "Reading is a special key to take you where you want to be." Just then her book became a screen, and screen grew tall and wide, and Alice walked through it to Bible land inside. She saw a man named Jacob, who had 12 sturdy sons. He loved them all, but Joseph was his very favorite one. One day, Jacob gave him a wonderful surprise, a coat with all the colors of a rainbow in the sky. The coat was woven into stripes, some narrow and some wide, and when Joseph wore his splendid coat, he felt real good inside. Now, Joseph's older brothers were very jealous men, and the rainbow-colored coat just made them envious again. "We'd be better off without him," they grumbled to each other, then talked of ways to do away with their younger brother. They were just about to harm him when the oldest brother said, "Let's throw him in a well and smear his coat with blood instead." They did this, then told Jacob that his favorite son had died. Jacob looked at Joseph's coat and wailed and moaned and cried. Though Jacob didn't know it, Joseph didn't die, but was taken off to Egypt by some travelers passing by. For years, Joseph lived quite well in this foreign land. He helped advise the Pharaoh and stood at his right hand. One day Joseph prophesied, "For 7 happy years there will be a lot of grain when harvest time appears. Then for 7 awful years the harvest will be bad, and people here in Egypt could be hungry and quite sad." The Pharaoh trusted Joseph and put him in command of growing grain and saving it all across the land. For 7 years, the harvests were the biggest ever seen. Then came 7 dreadful years when the harvesting was lean. The Egyptians had enough to eat with the extra grain they had, but elsewhere people hungered when their harvesting went bad. People came from other lands hoping they could find some food that they could take back home and grain of any kind. Among those looking for some food were 10 of Joseph's brothers. The youngest one, named Benjamin, was not among the others. Joseph looked so different that his brothers couldn't tell he was the baby brother whom they'd thrown into the well. "I'll sell you grain," said Joseph, "but first I want to see your youngest brother Benjamin. Go bring him back to me." When they left, Joseph had a special plan arranged to test his older brothers and see if they had changed. His brothers came with Benjamin, as Joseph said to do. Then Joseph said, "He'll be my slave, a very good one too." "No, no," his brother Judah begged. "You must take me instead, for our father still is mourning from his dearest son is dead." Sorry, can't turn the page. The other brothers pleaded too, and Joseph knew that day that all his older brothers had changed their evil ways. So Joseph told his brothers his true identity. He said, "You're all forgiven for what you did to me." Though what you did was very bad, it seems that God had planned for me to come to Egypt and to save our mighty land. Now go and get our father, bring him back to me, and then we'll live together as one big family. The time had come for Alice to leave that Bible scene. She went back home by walking through her storybook's big screen. Alice thought, I learned a lot, for it was plain to see that Joseph's family suffered because of jealousy. I learned about forgiveness and that those with nasty ways can change and live together in peace throughout their days. And that concludes our story for this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will be back next week with another one. Have a blessed day.